I'm Greg Finch. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be very specifically an express, and in a couple ways. The main reasons and the main focus is to make this applicable. You're going to take this information and you're going to directly implement it into your day, into your week, into your surfing program. And two, easily digestible. We're not going to go deep into things. We're going to stay powerfully focused. This is a major hurdle for all of us. Life is distracting, life can be overwhelming. It takes our attention in so many different ways. And if we don't work very diligently to stay present and lower resistance to the things that we're trying to achieve, that distraction and that overwhelm just takes over. So, what today is very much about is what I like to call my BAMs, my non negotiables. BAM is bare ass minimum. Take it, focus on it, define what those are for you. I'm going to talk about what I do personally and what I work with clients to find out what those minimums are for them. Essentially, what's your highest priority? What's your highest leverage that you're going to get back from the effort you put in today, right now? And those can stay fairly consistent, what those foundational things are, but they evolve and they might change the order, and it has to be a different priority for that day or that week depending on what's happening, the level of surfing that you're doing, the amount of surfing that you're doing, the things you're not being able to get to because of that life distraction or responsibilities. So what we're going to start with right here is looking at your day in 3 blocks of time, very focused on when it is, but not necessarily rigid on what it is. So think of it this way. First phase of your day, first time you open your eyes to when you leave the house for work, or when you change into a mode to either taking care of your kids or dropping them off at school, or whatever the next phase is, that first section, you defend it and you prioritize what that need is. I'll give you a couple examples in that first phase. What I like to call first breath as you wake. Your eyes pop open, prioritize taking 3 big, deep nasal diaphragmatic breaths. Does a few things that are really important. One, it reinforces to you that you want to stay present in your breath, and it's the first thing you're thinking about when you open your eyes. You get that jolt of a couple really nice, powerful diaphragmatic breaths. It activates things. It makes you present right at that moment. From there, I will get up and I will start to move around just lightly, maybe changing into what I'm going to wear that day, whatever it is, but I'm all still in my room. I'm all still kind of contained within myself, if you will, before there's distractions of other needs, what your family needs, your kids, whatever the other thing that's coming is. Stay right in that moment for what you need right then. It puts you in a better position to help support whoever or whatever else is coming. So once I move around a little bit, I'm kind of checking in real quick. This happens really fast. These are a few minutes. And maybe I prioritize, okay, my hamstrings are a little tight, or the my feet need a little bit more attention. Whatever it is, I give that a few minutes. Hamstring activation, all while breathing. Again, this I usually focus this in 3 to 5 minutes. Very efficient, very effective. But here's the biggest thing of this. In all of that we're going to talk about today, lowering resistance wherever possible. And what I mean by lowering resistance is you are building habits always. You are looking to improve the habits that you have, minimize or get rid of some of the bad habits that you have. It all takes it all takes due diligence, and it all takes an ability to do it in small, progressive improvement. So scoping down is an important thing. So again, first breath as you wake, check in a little bit. I'm going to prioritize hamstrings today and I'm going to activate through that motion. That's my first phase. That's my first non-negotiable. I go about my day, whatever things I have to be doing. Hopefully it has surf involved in it, and we talk about, readiness and movement prep for surfing, but that's something different. We're only talking about the actions that you have in your day in these three phases. Second phase is that middle of the day. It doesn't have a specific timetable for that. It's just in that middle component of what your day is. This is where I place for myself, and this is where I really advocate for my surfing clients to implement a BAM. And the BAM is this workout in this time, this bare ass minimum of movement and activation and some strength based movement. Again, very focused. So my action is almost always either a push up or a pop up, but I'm defining what that is on that day. Maybe it has to be angled because I surfed a ton the last few days and I'm feeling kind of tired, but I'm still going to hit that minimum. Or maybe it is my shoulders a little activated and I'm really recovering from that rotator cuff that I always manage personally myself. So I'm changing what it needs to be on that particular day. That's part of the power of this, is you're self-evaluating. You're not giving yourself excuses, you're not creating barriers for yourself. You're really self diagnosing where you are right in that moment on that day. That's informed information. You get informed choices from that, but you're going to have some movement. So it's always, for me, it's always something that is strength based, that is activating within the mechanisms that I'm going to use specifically in my surfing. So I'm thinking about my paddling, I'm thinking about my pop up, I'm thinking about my overall endurance, and underlying all of that is breath. So again, you started your day with breath in that first phase, this middle phase, BAM. I'm thinking about nasal diaphragmatic breathing all the way through, and I'm going to do today 3 sets of 5 to 7 push-ups, and maybe I'll have that second set be a full pop-up for that, and that's how I'll kind of pyramid that movement. So some strength-based right there. For me, I work wherever I am. Sometimes that means travel. A lot of times that means if I'm not traveling, I'm in my home office. So for me, a BAM is I need to get outside. I need to have a walk, a hike, a ruck, preferably a surf, but sometimes that's out of our hands. So these are things that, again, it's the BAMs, the bare ass minimum that you're hitting. So you're reducing resistance, you're reducing obstacles, both real, geographically, location, and most importantly, reducing the resistance that your brain is creating for you. We talked about this a lot, but it's really important. The evolved state that we are is about two main things: reducing risk and conserving calories. Everything has perceived risk to that primal part of your brain. Walking out the door has perceived risk. And two, every action you take takes a calorie count for that. So that primal part of your brain wants you to sit on the couch, conserve calories, reduce perceived risk. So this is why it is so critical that you really set those positive habits to be very much achievable, regardless of what happens on that day, regardless of the distractions, regardless of the unexpected that comes up. You can hit those things. So they're very focused. This is foundational for your movement, yes, but it's critical for reinforcing that positive habit. That's why they're non-negotiables. You set them up for success, both for the action of doing it for your body, but it's also to reinforce your brain, the positive reinforcement. I completed that today. It pushes into the next day, into the next week, into the next month. That positive reinforcement is compounding interest for your longevity. It is crucial. I cannot stress it enough. And I talk about this more and more and more to myself and to all the surfers that I coach. It's very much about structuring your day, week, and month to positively reinforce those habits that directly correlate to your longevity. Longevity in surfing is what we're talking about, but goes for the same and it's synonymous with longevity in life. We know as surfers, our longevity surfing is a direct correlation to not only our longevity in life, but the quality of that life. We're just better versions of ourselves when we go surfing. It's not always in our hands to be able to do that every day, but this component of that BAM in our day is absolutely up to us. So stay focused, define what that is, write it down, put it up where you see it every day, on your mirror where you brush your teeth every morning, reminding yourself, positive reinforcement of the things you're doing, and truly achievable and attainable. First phases, morning phase, first breath as you wake, some movement. What do you need as your priority? Middle phase of your day, your BAM, hit that movement. For me, it's definitely about getting outside in nature, breathing deeply, out in the open. That's the middle phase. The last phase of your day is about checking in what happened that day, what you want to improve on the next day. And so you're doing a synopsis of your day. What were the wins that I had today? What are the things that I want to positively change for the next day? And the third piece of that last phase of your day is some mobility, recovery, and reset. Again, I always focus on breath. I'm decompressing from my day as I evaluate. I do static back. It's a common thing that I'll do. A lot of times I'll do it in my day as a priority, but I absolutely do it at night. And I'll have a link in the show notes to show you a visual video of what static back looks like. But essentially, it's laying on your back, arms 90-90. So you're opening up through your chest and your shoulders, stability through your head, down through your spine, and then at your hip line, your knees are 90-90 and your hips are at a 90-degree. I'll use a chair. If your bed is the right height, you just have to find the right height for your feet and your legs being on that chair, 90 degrees at your knees, 90 degrees at your hips, laying flat on the floor, opening up, focus nasal, deep diaphragmatic breathing. Static back is very powerful because it's one of the only postures that you can be where you truly can absolutely release through that thoracic spine, mid back, down through your lumbar spine, low back. Everything is supported in that posture, which you can't say about almost anything else we do in our day. Sitting in this chair right here, I'm activated through my core, my hips are having to activate, I'm having to hold myself in this posture. Even laying back in a recliner or some relaxed state in a chair, you're still holding and muscle contraction. You will find that when you're in static back, you will lay back and you will hold. You will still see that you're holding and contracting. Some of it be tension, some of it just be straight muscle contraction. It's a great practice to really focus into relaxing, releasing, and letting go. That's why it's really powerful in that third phase towards the end of your day. As you're checking in, you're focusing on your breath and you're decompressing. You are also telling yourself, release, relax. There'll be times where my circle clients will come back to me and be like, oh my gosh, I felt my spine just go pop, 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 pop. And it's that release and that reset in a supported state where we are really being able to realign and reset. And it's a great off ramp into sleep. You're not raising your heart rate, you're not ramping anything up, you're decompressing, you're focusing on your breath, and you also are checking in. You're doing a nice little synopsis of your day. What went well, what were my wins, what do I want to change tomorrow and really prioritize, and coming off of that, and then I'll segue right into sleep. So those three phases are really what it's an important part of this idea of BAM. Bare ass minimums in your day, positive reinforcement, positive progression, attainable, effective, and it pays you huge dividends for your surf longevity, for your overall life longevity, and that quality of life is hugely elevated. Morning phase, middle of the day, decompression, end of your day. Those three phases, prioritize them, incorporate them into your days and weeks and months. It's a huge foundation for your surf longevity. It also is a great way to build from. So again, when life gets in the way and all of these things happen and you had this great program set for that day and it's out the door because you don't have the time for it. It legitimately, barriers came up and you do not have the ability to complete what this has here. That is a huge negative that you carry in your head. But if you hit your foundations and your bare ass minimums throughout the day, you can interpret this as it really is a win. I hit those foundations. I'm moving forward. I'm improving. I'm staying activated. I'm in control of the things that I can control, and I let go of everything else. Focus on that. Keep implementing that day to day. Come back to it. It's a great way. I'm distracted by all this stuff. I'm traveling, or all of it. It could be positive things, so it's not always negatives. Oh, I get all this travel. Oh my gosh, I haven't done anything but be stressed out and moving and carrying and doing all these things. I come right back to my foundation. I know what it is. I know what those three phases are. I clearly understand what I need to do, and I'm back to it, and it's attainable and sustainable. Great job, you guys. I'm Greg Finch. This has been an express episode of Surf Strong Show. Comments, questions, reach out. I'm here to support you and your surf longevity and whatever you need. Have a great day. Move forward. Go hit your BAMs.